rev up your engines. Today I'm going to talk about 5 mechanic secrets that you should know. Because even if you're not going to fix your own car, knowledge is power. And if you know more about your car, you have less of a chance of getting taken advantage of when your car needs repairs. You get warning lights on in your dash. Let's say your check engine light comes on, your ABS light is on, and your track light all come on. They're all 3 shining while you're driving. Well, in many modern cars, that has to do more with the software and the design of the car than actual problems. On many cars, especially Toyotas, Lexuses, if you have a problem and your check engine light comes on, automatically that will turn off the ABS and traction control systems. It's a computer safety thing. So you'll have these 3 lights and you think, oh, all these things are happening in my car. But in reality, the only real problem is the check engine light. So in that case, have it scanned, see what the check engine code is, and have that fixed first. I've had more people before they met me spend a whole bunch of money having work in quotation mark done at other mechanics, only later they come to me with the same thing, that all those lights are on, and it turns out that they got charged for ABS work, traction control work that probably wasn't even done on the car because there was another problem that the mechanic didn't fix right, and so they all came back on again. So if your check engine light comes on and the ABS and the traction control lights are all on at the same time, don't have a fit. First, find out why the check engine light is on and fix that. That often fixes the whole thing. Now the next has to do with the maintenance required light. As far as I'm concerned, the maintenance required light, that is one of the biggest scams out there. The manufacturers put them in to scare people to bring the car to the dealer. Those stupid lights on most cars will just come on at certain mileage intervals. Some cars will come on every 15,000 miles. What you want to do is, of course, maintain your car correctly, change the oil when you need to, but learn how to turn that maintenance required light off yourself. Because often the only thing the car needs when the maintenance required light comes on is an oil change. Do it yourself or have it done somewhere. Just Google for your own car, turning off maintenance required light, and you'll see there's certain buttons you have to push in a certain sequence, and you can turn it off yourself. Don't freak out and go running to the dealer and get some gigantic bill for things that you really don't need to have done at all. And the next mechanic's tip is this: on any normal car, don't waste your money on expensive additives to stick in the engine or the transmission or the gas tank. Now, of course, companies make the stuff so they want to sell it to you. And let's say you bought a used car and it's a real junker and it's got something leaking or it burns a lot of oil. You can try some additives to attempt to help it a little bit. But in a normal functioning car that you take care of, it's a waste of money to buy that stuff. Modern gasoline has got plenty of additives, especially in the United States by law. The stuff's going to burn perfectly fine. You don't need to put anything else in it. It works great the way it comes from the refinery. And the same thing goes for engine oil. Engine oil works really good. It's well designed. It's much better than it was when I was a kid. All the chemicals that are added to the oil to make it last longer, to make it not burn, to make it not pollute and vaporize, they're in there from the factory. You don't need to add a bunch of packages yourself. You just need to change the stuff regularly. That's what you need to do, not put additives in. Change your oil when it gets dirty. If your car's heater doesn't work right, maybe it's lukewarm, maybe it doesn't work at all, a lot of times it's because of one simple thing. And that simple thing is this: if your car is low on coolant, often your heater won't work right. Now this may sound counterintuitive, but it's true. Your car's heater core that the hot water goes through and then the air blows and puts hot air on you is inside the dash most of the time, and it's usually the highest part of the cooling system. And as crazy as it sounds, the heater core only works with hot water inside. It doesn't work with hot air. So if your cooling system is low on coolant, since the heater core is the highest part, it gets filled up with air and the liquid goes back down into the engine. And hot air won't blow into your car. It has to be full of hot water that dissipates the heat to the fins, and your fan blows the hot air in your face. So if your heater is not working this winter, hey, just check your coolant level. It might just be low. I have fixed hundreds of cars that way over the years. Now the last mechanic secret has to do with car batteries. Believe it or not, car batteries are kind of like eggs. They really have a sell-by date. Now when I was a young mechanic in the 60s, batteries were completely different. In the back of the gas station, we had empty batteries that were vacuum sealed. When it was time to put one in a customer's car, we got an ice pick, we broke all the vacuum seals, then we filled the battery with acid and charged it up with a battery charger. So in those days, the batteries had a pretty much indefinite shelf life. There was nothing in them. But modern batteries are filled with acid at the factory. It's just a new production thing. But once they're filled with acid, they start to deteriorate. And batteries in cars are made to start your car, discharge a little, then the alternator recharges it, then start and stop. If you fill them with acid and put them on a shelf and they sit there for months on end, they start to degrade and they lose a lot of their lifespan. And perhaps the worst ones I ever saw were these Delco batteries. They were making them in South Korea. Then of course, they put them on a ship and they send them to the United States. Well, who knows how many months it takes them to get here. I used to buy some of those batteries and I had hundreds of them go bad for my customers, way before they should have. Some of them only lasted a few months or a year, year and a half. So, when you're buying a battery for your car, pretend you're at the grocery store. Demand to see the date of the battery and try to get one that's less than a month old, because they don't deteriorate that much in 1 month. But don't go to one of those big box stores where they got batteries all piled up in a giant pyramid and buy one there. Who knows how long that thing's been sitting at the bottom of the pyramid. Always get a fresh battery when you buy one. So now you know 5 mechanic secrets that'll keep you from wasting money on your car needlessly. Now, I've been a mechanic for the last 51 years, but one of the main reasons I became a mechanic was because I didn't trust anybody to fix my own car. So even if you're not going to fix your own car, realize a little bit of mechanic's knowledge can go a long way for saving you money. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.